Bethesda is falling apart before our eyes, and I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
My dudes, get your lubes! I came back to warn you about what Xbox and Bethesda are doing to Elder Scrolls 6. My god, it's horrible. You'll never believe this, but they...
Who's laughing now?
Oh, damn, getting owned by Todd Midget Howard? As a man, oh, I would Minecraft myself in an instant. That I feel no shame, but something like that is just no.
You dork.
Oh, thank god. It was all a dream. Or was it? Here we go again. Look like a lot of you dudes, I'm a huge fan of Bethesda and that little man known as Todd Howard. But I've got some serious concerns about the future of the Elder Scrolls franchise. After having played the disaster known as Fallout 76 and struggling to get through their new
Fallout 76 was the greatest disaster to be a part of. It was so bad. You couldn't legitimately play 1.5 minutes without encountering a game-breaking, immersion-destroying bug. It was truly an experience. It arguably probably was the most buggy game ever released.
mediocre IP Starfield, I'm sure that a lot of us are hoping that the next Elder Scrolls game is gonna pass Skyrim and set a new standard for open world sandbox RPGs, so we can all jump back on that gay for Todd bandwagon. Maybe some of you dudes haven't noticed, but if you've been playing games for a while, there's been an obvious pattern of AAA companies sacrificing gameplay mechanics and depth to cater to a wider audience, aka dumbing things down. Bethesda is no stranger to this. I'm sure that people who got into the Elder Scrolls series with Skyrim and then went back to play Oblivion or Morrowind would have noticed how many more mechanics there are, like more armor slots, or being able to choose which stats to put your points into. The Fallout series has been getting the same treatment as well, but basically almost everything that makes an RPG an RPG has been slowly chipped away at. Take a look at the amount of skills removed from the games over time.
This is so true. Everyone knows this. Everyone talks about it at some point. But these gaming companies don't care. And then comes out a game that actually allows you to customize your character just this tiny bit. And what do you know? It's an absolute ginormous success. Again, look at the remaster of Oblivion. That's a success. That's a 110% success, in fact. And, well, it has a lot of mechanics. It doesn't hold your hand.
Morrowind had 27 skills to build your character with. They decided to drop it down to 21 in Oblivion. And now Skyrim has only 18, as they've been removing things like spears and throwing weapons, in addition to combining skill trees like axe, sword,
It's so insane considering who doesn't love spears? Spears are awesome.
and mace into one specialization called one-handed. Maybe some people don't think this is a big deal, but removing content from the game takes away the fun of making multiple characters and trying to make your own unique build. On top of that, magic is now
Oh.
the weakest form of combat in the series now, which is why there are so many mods to revamp the entire system. In Morrowind and Oblivion, you could actually create your own custom spells, letting you do some crazy things like making spells that look like nukes. Ah! America! And don't get me started on the removal of athletics, which lets you jump around the map like some superhero badass. Another thing that's making the game worse
I mean, you can just skooma it up a little bit.
is that the series initially had 4 armor types: unarmored, light, medium, and heavy armor. But they removed being able to spec into unarmored, and they completely removed medium
Oh, I completely forgot about unarmored. Wow.
armor because they thought it was too complicated. But who are we kidding? They just don't want to model extra gear. And like I said, they've been removing armor slots by doing things like combining chest
The funniest part, by the way, about this, because he's 100% right, but the funny part about this is the people who are modeling this gear are artists most of the time. And artists in game development are the first people who finish their work months before anything, everyone else is even remotely close to finishing their job, because being an artist is trash and the job is fake. So they could model the armors. They could do all of these things.
armor with leg armor in Skyrim. We've gone from 9 equipable armor pieces in Morrowind to 6 in Oblivion, and now just 5 in Skyrim. And it's not like this is something that the players
Wait, what do you even equip in Skyrim? Boots, gloves, armor, head. A shield count? Vamp Racers? Yeah, I think it was Vamp Racers. Pants were not separate. They were just full body armor. I think.
Want either. Take a look at Elden Ring and how many unique builds you can make. Almost every player beat the game in their own unique way. I don't know how far they're gonna go
True.
with Elder Scrolls 6, but there's obviously a pattern going on here. I mean, did you play Starfield? Armor has been simplified all the way down to just 3 pieces.
Oh god, armor is so boring in Starfield. Well, everything's boring in Starfield. But dude, the best part about this armor is you have no idea if it's even better. You see something go up, but you have no idea if it's actually better. Like, no one understands what actually any of the defensives that the armor provides honestly mean, okay? Physical, blunt energy, who fucking cares, okay? That's it. Everything else on the armor sets is like, I don't know if this actually does anything. Knowing Skyrim, by the way, it's probably bugged and it doesn't really do anything.
A spacesuit, helmet, and a jetpack. I mean, come on. When are they gonna stop? Do they really think we're all that stupid? Well, yes, actually. Back in 2017, Pete Hines, the senior vice president of global marketing and communications, was getting heat for dumbing down skills in Fallout 4, and he posted this statement.
Oh god, I hate these skills so much. Every single Fallout player who has more than 2 brain cells fighting for 3rd place is gonna tell you one thing and one thing only. It's the fact that we want Fallout New Vegas style skills. Not whatever fucking trash this garbage is, okay? You know what this is? That's your medicine skill. It increases stim packs by something like 20% and 20% again. It's garbage. It's boring. It's boring, okay? I want something that at least changes the game. Not 20% more. What was the shotgun damage or whatever? I don't want that, okay? I want this shit. I want to live my life to the fullest. I want things that are interesting. I want the wild wastelands to be introduced in every game.
If you're gonna complain to anyone at Bethesda on Twitter, don't bother. We do not care what you think about our decisions on writing, removing skills, or universal retcons in Fallout. We make our games accessible to as many people as possible, including...
I'll translate this. We at Bethesda are literally shoving our heads in our own asses, so we don't really care what the plebes think, okay? None of you are game developers, and we're really, really good at our job, even though the sales numbers don't really reflect that in the slightest. And, you know, we're gonna make these games more stupid, more dumbed down, so the Gen Zers hopefully will play this instead of Fortnite, which is never gonna happen, but, I mean, I'm getting paid anyway.
Women, and that's what makes sense. That sounds weird, Pete. What are you trying to say? Some dude replied with, what about older fans who helped build the series, who care about these things? Aren't they relevant?
Fuck 'em.
And get this, Pete replied with, look, what we do is our concern. It's our IP and our company. If we decide skills are too complex and unneeded, they aren't needed. So what he is...
Jesus, why is every single person in charge of a high position in Bethesda just going on a Twitter tirade, being an idiot, and burning down the company? Todd Howard can do that alone very fine on his own some.
Saying is that Bethesda thinks that they need to remove complex skills and concepts in order to make their games more accessible to people such as women because they think they are too stupid to handle these
people.
Systems. Wait, I think he kind of has a point.
Yeah.
ブルースカイの人たちにキャンセルされちゃうよ。
ごめん、もう言わないから。別に気にしないけどさ。
はぁ？喧嘩売ってんの？
いや違う。So get this, last month, Bethesda's Shadow drops the Oblivion remaster, and the game instantly
It wasn't a shadow drop, this was a marketing campaign.
blows up, and rightfully so. The game looks amazing now. I will say that it runs like crap on high settings, but Oblivion was made during the golden age of gaming, where gaming studios could just make what they wanted and not be forced to add a bunch of political nonsense into it. But that's when
She was doing a barb.
Drama started. Just like almost every other AAA gaming studio who releases a remake or remaster of an old game, Xbox and Bethesda couldn't just release it like it was without making a bunch of stupid changes to it that literally nobody asked for. I'm sure you've already noticed, but they removed
Body
gender from the
type,
character creation menu. I know that some people are just gonna say it's just a few words, but if it was just a few words, why
Then don't change it exactly.
Why was it changed to begin with? That's because it is a big deal. If it wasn't, Nexus Mods wouldn't be banning mods that changed it back to male and female. I'm sorry guys, but I'm never gonna understand how excluding 99% of the players and forcing everybody to play as non-binary characters is inclusive at all. But let's be honest, is this going to be a deal breaker for most gamers? No. If the game is good enough, most people will ignore it. But like I always say, it's an immediate red flag that the game you're playing either has some sort of political messaging in it, or at the very least, some form of censorship that only applies.
God damn, look at the biblically accurate one. Oh, yeah, boy.
The female characters. I mean, come on, dudes. Do you really think that the weirdos...
Listen, if I know one thing from my life experience is that women love to be objectified. The moment you do not objectify a woman, she instantaneously gets mad. And that's my case. Either you know or you don't. It is what it is.
That these gaming companies are paying for to push all of these social changes are just gonna stop at gender? Of course not. And what do you know? Bethesda has gone out of the way to censor female characters in art, and almost every female set of armor has been either toned down or replaced with a male version instead, because these freaks are disgusted by femininity. While making this video, another YouTuber went in depth about all the changes I was planning to cover here, so I'm just gonna leave a link to her video in the description.
Wait. Yeah, I'm doing this.
If you want to see everything for yourself. But to sum it up, they changed almost everything to be more modest, especially around the chest area, and try to cover up more skin. It looks like they just opened up paint and lazily pasted all over them. Some skirts have been also made longer as well, and almost every single female
Oh, this is so lame.
Female statue has been completely reworked, which completely changes the art style of how women are portrayed in the entire series. I also noticed that every zombie was apparently wearing the same pants when they died, which looks stupid, and they are way less creepy than the original. And one thing I personally noticed that not many people are talking about is that they put underwear on the dead body of Lucian, who was part of the Dark Brotherhood questline. I mean, come on. Are you telling me he was hung upside down, brutally tortured, and at the very end they put a fresh pair of Hanes on the dude? It's ridiculous. And no, none of this is because of the ESRB. The game was rated M for mature, meaning that Bethesda censored.
Listen, it's literally never the SFRB or whatever three-letter syllable thingamajig it's called.
Their game for other reasons. Get your tinfoil hats on here, boys, because personally, I think the main reason they shadow dropped the remaster was to avoid controversy and gauge the reaction to the censorship and body type change in preparation for the next Elder Scrolls title. And I'm glad that so many people are calling them out, because I'm so sick of this bullshit.
Ooh, Todd, oh yeah, you made a lot of promises to the macho man, didn't you? Promises that you didn't keep. But letting Xbox ruin the Elder Scrolls takes a lot of guts, brother. Which is great, because that's all that's gonna be left all over the map after WrestleMania 5!
He's lost his mind! Close on!
I mean, literally the dream, but you know, who's counting?
It's over! Uh-oh, he's signaling he can taste it, he smells it!
Yeah!
Why would Bethesda do this to a 20-year-old fan-loved game? Well, I don't think it was
I mean, why would Bethesda go woke in the first place? Because they're idiots.
Bethesda's fault at all. I covered a lot of this in my...
Because they don't have talent anymore. Because they're worthless sacks of garbage that are overpaid.
Avowed video, but I'm gonna say it here again. Xbox is currently forcing their worldviews and design philosophies into every single one of their studios instead of letting them create what they want. No,
bro, this is from Indiana Jones, by the way. This guy literally went on camera and said, "We're making Indiana Jones for the modern audiences." And then he probably figured out what the percentile means that we constantly yap about. And the Indiana Jones game wasn't even that woke, okay? It was quite normal. It was refreshing, honestly. But no, they said, this is for modern audiences, and the game completely flopped. Now, admittedly, as always, the Bethesda fanboys are going to say, 5 players? That's a success. Yeah. Unlike your abortion.
of letting them create what they want. No, this isn't some conspiracy. They proudly state what they are doing on their website. It's all under product inclusion action. Help customers feel seen. Are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Are you necessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code or design? This explains the stupid body type.
Dude, that sounds like a way that you make a good game.
1 and 2 bullshit, and why they censored the private part area of the zombies and Lucian. They think that having male and female is an unnecessary gender barrier for the you-know-whos.
How can I describe you?
I'm non-binary.
Thank you for coming in.
Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in...
By the way, I love non-binary. Again, if you don't know, non-binary is the cheapest woke thing that you can be. And it literally proves that you don't even care about the shit that you're spewing, okay? Because non-binary means that you don't have to change anything about your life, the way that you do things, the way that you think, anything. You just get to tell everyone you're non-binary because non-binary means absolutely nothing. You don't have to change anything about yourself, the way you think, the way you say things. You just get to tell people you're non-binary because otherwise they would never be able to tell. It is the cheapest woke thing ever.
Skill and ability to their male peers. If you played the original game, you might have noticed that female and male characters had different physical capabilities, and it reflects on their stats, as you can see here. You know, just like in real life.
Wait. Are women less intelligent than men? Argonian, no. Dark Elf. Same intelligence. The female Argonians are smarter than... Yeah, it's lizards. I guess it makes sense. Oh my god, the orc... Yeah, I guess it also makes sense for orcs. Okay. Not really biblically accurate, but who cares?
Flex on their stats, as you can see here. You know, just like in real life. Well, Xbox doesn't like that. I wonder why. So they went out of their way to add this origin system, which changes your stats instead of gender, removing something that made this game so unique. It's just so stupid. Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? And there it is, my dudes. This explains the censorship and why they are moving away from armor designed for female bodies and making them all wear the bulky
God, that's so lame.
male versions instead. We saw a ton of this in Avowed 2, which is why the female guards look terrible and completely out of place. So
I mean, yeah, female gods always look out of place. It's the Middle fucking Ages, but with magic, okay? Listen, I'm not saying a woman with a gun is less dangerous than just me being me, but it is, and everyone knows it.
do all these changes completely ruin the game? No, that's not what this video is about. Honestly, the remaster is just as fun as the original, so you're gonna see a ton of people who don't care about any of these changes at all. But I'm telling you guys, you're not seeing the whole picture. The worst part of this whole situation is that the next Elder Scrolls game will be the first in the series to be built entirely on Xbox's core values from the ground up, which is going to affect everything from writing, world building, and art. It's gonna...
Now, to be completely fair, Bethesda, even without Xbox, is gonna fail at everything that they do. So I still think Xbox stepping in and telling them what to do is gonna be a boon because again, Bethesda is a bunch of failures. Elder Scrolls 6 is completely ruined in the eyes of so many.
Gonna feel and look completely different than what we're all used to and love. Here's some quick examples of how Bethesda usually writes. This one's from Skyrim.
Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second.
And here's another one from Oblivion.
By the way, do you happen to know what the fine is here in Cyrodiil for necrophilia?
Oh, necrophilia, yeah, this
Just
one's
asking.
good.
Let's assume
No.
no. That's nothing compared to Morrowind, thanks.
These types of jokes and funny lines are going to be completely absent in future titles because these weirdos are going to think it's offensive to women. And we've already gotten a sneak peek on how bad the writing is going to be with Starfield.
Oh god, the Starfield writing is not just bad, it's just pitiful, okay?
We're all gonna be non-stop bombarded with these immersion-breaking, strong, independent, don't need no man female leaders that talk down to these soy men constantly. And I'm not just talking out of my ass. Literally everything on this page was used in Starfield and Avowed. Do they have exaggerated body proportions? Bam! Say goodbye to fun bags, my dudes. Probably the worst one of all these, though, is the what % of screen time, on-screen presence, speaking lines, heroes are held by different gender, racial identities.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
I think this locked post on the Starfield Steam forums sums this one up perfectly. Are white men extinct in Starfield? I can barely see them anywhere. I have a feeling they are extinct like dinosaurs. And he's exactly right. Since these studios now have quotas to meet for diversity, instead of making a believable world, we all have to deal with these half-assed, ugly NPCs sprinkled all over that take you right out of the damn game.
This doesn't make any sense.
Another thing I gotta bring up is that I am disappointed in where the next game is gonna take place. Nothing has been confirmed yet, and people are still debating on it. But who are we kidding here, dudes? Take a look at all the races.
It's Hammerfell, right? So they can make every character black.
We all know what went down at Bethesda.
What's that demographic? Black people. They're gonna love that idea.
That's right, the Red Guards. I'm calling it here right now. The next Elder Scrolls game is gonna take place in Hammerfell. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that this means that the game's gonna suck. I think Red Guard lore, and if they
I mean, I am, though, saying the game's gonna suck.
add ships to sail around the world in, has a ton of potential if done right. But it's a huge letdown to have another game based on real-world looking human air.
Listen, I wouldn't trust Bethesda at this point to even make a sword. Not, let alone ship combat, okay? It's over. Dude, Elder Scrolls 6 is dead.
Areas. Well, we just had 2 in a row. Cyrodiil had a European setting, and Skyrim was more of a Nordic Viking theme. Hammerfell is just gonna be covered in brown.
Just say motherfucker.
Yasuke, chill. I'm just saying it's gonna take place in a desert area. What makes Morrowind so awesome is how unique the landscape and the creatures are. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feels this way, dudes. I'm willing to bet that if you polled every single Bethesda fan, Red Guards and Hammerfell would be the lowest on the list. We could have had a unique game based around orcs, Argonians, or elves. Hell, I'll even take the furries. And before I get any weird comments, if you think that black people only make Red Guards and that's all that they're interested in, there's something wrong with you, not me. And get this, dudes, Bethesda
I mean, that's how Bethesda is gonna do it, though.
already made a game called The Elder Scrolls Red Guard. It was a commercial flop, but they're gonna try again. Why? I don't know, dudes. Maybe
Why? Ooh. Why would you not?
I'm gonna be completely wrong, and honestly, I hope I am. I grew up.
No. The reality is it's over. Bethesda is pretty much dead. Anyway, that was Scouter V 10 out of 10.